What's up, guys? Maritime Spook here on the beautiful Bay of Fundy. I'm gonna get this video in, guys, because I just talked to my neighbor and they're saying there's gonna be another blizzard tomorrow, so I'll be out shoveling probably and taking care of the building here. So anyways, one thing that I've seen quite a bit lately is a lot of people, and I've got some new subscribers lately. A lot of people have said, what would be a good knife that's not going to cost me a lot of money? And there's some people that are watching this right now, I'm sure, that are saying, we already know where this is going, but what's a good knife that wouldn't cost me a lot of money, that's going to last and do what I need it to do? And I'm talking about going out in the woods, actually using the knife. I don't mean just putting a kit together and not using it. I'm talking about a knife that you're actually going to use, it's going to work for you, and you're not really going to have to worry too much about it. Now, very cool channel that I like to watch, Bushcraft Bartons. Mike, he said the same thing, but he said another knife as well, only because it was traditional, and that was a traditional Puko knife. The knife that I'm talking about is another one he also mentioned, the Mora, and the title of this video will be Why the Mora. Well, I can tell you why I like the Mora. Number one is because it's inexpensive. I got this one for under 20 bucks, and even here in Canada they're not too hard to find. You're getting the kind of grind that you're going to want for a woodsman grind, Scandinavian grind. These are designed for being out in the woods and using them for a woods knife. So I mean, the grind, you're getting a hard plastic, a rugged sheath that would last probably forever, as long as you take care of it, and drain hole in it, everything. So I mean, they obviously market it towards water, like if you get it wet it's not going to totally destroy it, but it is high carbon steel, so when you're done with it, wipe it and oil it up. So other than having to take care of it a little more than a knife with a coating, this is the number one knife to me for, as I said, like either your first knife or a knife that you want to get, even if it's not your first knife, but you tried a few other ones and you're not sure of them, this would be the one to go get. Once you've held one of these and once you've used one of these, it's really hard to look at other knives the right way and a different way for what this is. Now, I'm not saying that you could go get $220 Enzo Trapper, one of those really nice, what I consider like traditional / new style bush knives, like an Enzo Trapper, Enzo Nordique, or one of those beautiful knives that are really tough, 01 tool steel and just curly birch, beautiful handles and all that. You're gonna spend over $200. You can buy 10 of these for the price of one of those. So you gotta look at it that way. So my recommendation for someone just to go get one to try out, maybe down the road you're gonna look at it and sort of have the same light I have and said, I'd really like to have one of those nice bush knives. Because I've worn it that enough in my own, my own way of going out, and I like being in the woods. My immediate family likes it. So yeah, I mean, that's something I do, so that would be an investment for me. But I don't recommend the average person to just run out and go buy these $200 knives until at least they've tried one of these anyway, guys. I love them more for the way it cuts too. I mean, you're going to take off a ton of material with little effort, and that's what's so crazy about the way the Mora is set up, guys, is it's not hard. Like, even with knots in the wood, it'll scrape the knots right out. Almost anyone, being safe as well though with a knife, can go and use a Mora to process stuff. Do you want a baton with this? You could, but I'm not, like, this is more what I'm saying, the pairing of this along with an axe, or even a small hatchet, maybe even a machete if you're you're decent enough with them. But as far as the first knife starting out, you're not going to be using stuff like that as much, so just go with this. But just the way it cuts and the feel in your hand, you would never, this is what they're made for, if that's the easiest way to say it. You'll see a lot of tactical knives, and I've had a couple of them that it's like they're made more for going out to war. Okay, that's fine, because that still makes them tough, and that still makes them damn near indestructible in some cases. But this is made for going, this is a woods knife, this is a camp knife, you know, get processing your fish, you know, doing camp chores if you're making stuff for your camp. Like, you know, if you're going out and you needed to carve, you know, the pieces that you're going to go into, you know, you're actually doing your feather sticks, doing even processing. You were going out and get some chalk off, took chalk off trees with this, just things like that. That's what I mean. And yes, you could do the harder tasks with it, but I almost wouldn't want to, because this is what it's made for. Now, these weigh absolutely nothing, and they're not a full tang knife. That's another thing a lot of people look at and say, well, you know, it's not even a full tang knife. Well, these are still quite tough, guys, and I have stupidly batoned with it before. I broke a little piece of plastic off right there, batoning, and it worked fine. You could use a heavier piece of wood and process your firewood with it, because I have. I'm never going to do that again, just for the simple fact that this is the knife for this stuff that I'm doing right here. You know, you're fine carving, you're processing your firewood, you know, you're making your little curls, you know, with your process your firewood. This is what it's for. Intricate work, very easy with this. Strong enough though, because of the design, like as I said, to take knots out, to see that, to pop it, you know, see that, guys? That knot there was a pain in the butt, come right out. So smoothing stuff out, I mean, just all around good knife, and fun to use too. The whole point with this being, and this is going to sound, you know, this isn't a plug, I'm not getting paid by Mora or anything, obviously, guys, but if you were to go get one of these, you might as well get two, because you could have one that's just your hard use, and, you know, whatever you want to do, taking it in the bush and dropping it, and, you know, not taking as good a care of it. And then just have one to carve with, guys. I only have one right now, but I definitely would like to pick another one up. I just love the Mora. I mean, if you watch Ray Mears, my favorite show on Ray Mears' series of bushcraft is in Sweden. At the end of it, he makes a beautiful, nice knife, and it has basically the same blade. So, to be honest with you guys, if you wanted to get this handle off and get yourself a nice curly birch handle, which I don't, you know, you could do that with this as well. I don't in a way recommend it, because you actually can buy kits online with the same Scandi blade and the rat tail tang, and then you make your own handle, which I like to try, but, you know, that would be really cool to do. But like I said, guys, this is more just a bit of a rant than it is, you know, I'm not trying to sway anybody, I'm just saying this is my opinion. I just really like this knife. It comes with a sheath. I wear it as a Merc harness, especially in the winter, when it's going around. It goes around my shoulder, and I put it back in, it goes back inside my jacket like so, and away you go. Now, easily accessible, just I can pull it up just the way the harness is set up. I can actually just pull the top of the knife, pull it back out, it goes back in. Got the ferrocerium rod attached to it. And one thing with these, guys, and this is going to answer maybe a question or two down the road here. A lot of people have said that they didn't have the 90-degree spine on the Mora, and it was unfortunate because it was such a good woods knife, but you couldn't really get a lot of material off. All you got to do, guys, is take a file, or I took a little diamond rod, and I wore down the top back of the spine here a little bit. Now, it easily takes off material. That was probably about a minute fix, and then you've got, you know, everything you need. I've started a decent amount of fires with this knife. I like to start fires with this knife because you can get right in there with the back of the blade and get your fine little sparks. But just really like it, guys. So that's answering a couple questions as to why I like it, but why you should like it is definitely number one, the price. Number two, the availability. Some knives you get, you might not be able to get another one if you wanted another one. They're harder to get sometimes. But just a beautiful knife. Fun to work with. You're never going to get bored with woodcraft, guys, if you get into doing it. I'll tell you that. I've only tried to carve a few things, and they're kind of silly, so I'm not going to show them on camera to you, but I have carved a few things. I actually use this knife to do it. Someday when I think they're up to par, I probably will show you guys, but just a lovely, lovely knife to work with. even if you get a knot in here or there. One really cool I saw, because some people call this the Clipper as well. I saw a guy over in England, Wessex Blades, Scott, cool channel. He was taking it out, and he was ripping some knots out of some big wood with his. And I mean, you can, just because of the way the handle's set up. But anyway, guys, this is just a quick video. We're gonna get a snowstorm here right quick in the next 24 hours. So I just wanted to show you that I had this out and I was using it. And I don't always tape everything, and sometimes afterwards I'm like, I should have taped that, shared that. But got some other videos on the go here, guys. So just stay tuned. I just wanted to show you that. This is probably, I would consider it, close to my favorite knife, just for a lot of reasons. I was actually going to send it to somebody, but I cracked the handle and I sent them a better knife I think is more suited for them. So, but anyway, guys, the Maritime Spook signing out. Just wanted to show you the Mora MG companion. You can get them anywhere. So I got mine at this Army surplus store, not far from my, well, a little ways from home, I guess, for my standards. But anyway, it's Maritime Spook signing out. Pick one up, guys. You will not be disappointed. Thanks, guys. Keep your stick on the ice.